Very much, and now that Chairman Cole is here, I want to say your constituents are in our thoughts and our prayers following this weekend's tornadoes in Oklahoma. Before I begin, I want to recognize longtime rules staffer Laurie Ismail, who is here, whose last day with the committee was Friday. And what? Yeah, that's why she's sitting out there and not here, right? Yeah. But many of you know Laurie well. Most recently, a senior professional staffer for the Rules team and for Rules Committee and our team's foreign policy advisor. She has been with the committee since 2016 and worked closely with the late Chairwoman Louise Slaughter. Born in Detroit and raised in Lebanon, Laurie has spent her career dedicated to public service. Before coming to the Hill, she worked as a legislative assistant at the White House Office of Legislative Affairs during the Obama administration. And her commitment to serving the American people continues in her new role, where she will work with Leader Jeffries' floor staff just down the hall. I speak for everyone when I say our loss is their gain. Laurie's sharp wit, her infectious positive attitude, and profound expertise will be a huge asset to their team. And so, Laurie, we're going to miss you, but we are so proud of you and excited to see what you have what you accomplish in your next step. So, and you will always have a home here in the Rules Committee. So, thank you. And with that said, we are here to consider two measures. First is H.R. 347, the Reduce Exacerbated Inflation Negatively Impacting the Nation Act, or REIN Act. And oh boy, is this one a doozy. My Republican friends have had months and months and months to write a plan on inflation, and this is it. This bill, and I hesitate to call it a bill because honestly, this is really just a tweet or a press release. I mean, this is the plan, more paperwork, a report. People don't need a report to know inflation is a global problem. And you don't need a PhD in economics to know a book report isn't going to solve it. Democrats took aggressive action on inflation. We capped insulin at $35 for senior citizens. That's real. Reduced prescription drug prices for seniors. Ensured Big Pharma faces penalties when they try to price gouge, and went after big oil for price gouging. All things that I should point out that House Republicans actively voted against over the last 2 years. We secured over $300 billion in investments in U.S. manufacturing to move supply chains back to America, fought to lower food and fuel prices, made the most robust updates in 70 years to the Buy American Act to boost domestic manufacturing, passed the Ocean Shipping Reform Act to cut costs for American families and bring down shipping costs, oversaw the largest one-year decrease in the federal deficit in American history. And that's what Democrats did. And it's not perfect, and inflation is still too high, and greedy corporations are still jacking up costs. But there's a difference here, a very important difference. Democrats fought to lower inflation, to hold those at the top accountable, and boost manufacturing to bring down inflation for good. And Republicans, I mean, their big plan to fight inflation after months of waiting, after all this big buildup, is a book report. Their solution is blame Democrats, blame Biden, and that's all this bill is about. It's not a serious plan. It's a press release. Our second bill today is H.J. Res. 30. Last year, the Department of Labor clarified that environmental, social, and governance factors don't need to be treated differently when it comes to making investment decisions for retirement plans. Individuals submitted over 22,000 comments, and 97.4% supported the proposed rule. This is like using a hammer for surgery instead of a scalpel. And if my colleagues are so upset with this rule, might I suggest they bring actual legislation on this topic to the floor and not use a Congressional Review Act to hamstring future action by an agency. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I'm happy to yield back my time.
Without objection.